I'm Markus Zechner. I'm the senior technical consultant at DE-CIX for all of our enterprise connectivity topics. And yeah, so, okay, first slide for me, it will be a little bit of PowerPoint karaoke because I should only jump in for some technical topics. And now we also have those marketing slides. But yeah, who is DE-CIX? I think most of you know who DE-CIX is. It's one of the, if not the biggest commercial internet exchanges in the world. And at the moment, yeah, this slide is already outdated because we have built 3 more locations during the last few months. And yes, what's so special about DE-CIX now, why we are here with the Nordics? Because we are planning also to expand to the Nordics, but in a very special way, not in, let's say, our default way. Yeah. Because you have to know, DE-CIX has evolved during the past 4 years from a classical IXP to an interconnection platform. So why does this happen and how? Yeah, more and more enterprises, especially in Germany, entered the platform and were also onboarded on our platform, and they have different demands. Yeah? They have different requirements than our, let's say, default customers, which are mostly on the network side. And those customers have also one demand, and this demand was, hey, we want to consume your services in the Nordics. So we have planned to go to the Nordics, not to catch new customers. Our main reason why we go to the Nordics is because we have existing customers. They want to use our services in certain areas inside the Nordics. And so in the first wave, we have planned to implement 6 locations inside the Nordics. One of these is Helsinki. One of these is Hamburg, which is more or less the gateway to the Germany, to Frankfurt, to be exactly, to the ecosystem in Frankfurt. And we also plan to connect those, let's say, DE-CIX Nordics region to the US ecosystem via the new sea cables from, I think it's Iceberg and Christophsland, yeah, and connect them there to the US ecosystem. So why are more and more enterprises connecting to DE-CIX, or in general, why are they connecting to an IXP? Pretty easy. The first thing is their requirements are getting bigger and bigger. We are hearing about the 5G things, we are hearing about Internet of Things, predictive maintenance, artificial intelligence, big data, the whole cloud story, but even simple services like video conferencing, like virtual desktop sessions, they all increase the requirements in base of bandwidth. If it comes to latency, they need low latency or lower latency than at the moment. Second thing is the cloud solutions became business critical. So in the early days, cloud solutions were, yeah, they were there, but they were not business critical because they said, okay, it's just a lab. Or, for example, it's not that business critical. Exchange online, if it's down, it's asymmetric traffic, so no one cares. But nowadays, they need to have SLAs, and they need to have end-to-end SLAs for their cloud traffic. Another thing, of course, need for security and compliance. I don't want to dig too deep into that because it's pretty obvious. No big enterprise wants to stand in the news because they have leaked data or they were attacked by DDoS and went down. And one last thing, cloud is becoming the new default. This is a trend we have seen when we work together with our big companies and our big customers from the automotive. They don't think about if they implement a new application in the cloud, they only think in what cloud they want to implement this application. So more and more of those workloads straight go into the cloud. And so if you summarize this, it's pretty obvious. An enterprise needs, if it comes to connectivity, it needs secure connectivity, fast connectivity, solutions have to be efficient, and they have to be compliant. And I think an IXP is in a perfect position to satisfy these needs because we are connecting networks, and if customer is getting access to our ecosystem, they can consume those services and satisfy all their needs. And here, let's say this is our default product portfolio where we, of course, have peering, cloud, VPNI, and some special services like closed user group and maps. But let's focus on the ones really related to the enterprises, because yes, they do peering, but most things they're asking for is, for example, cloud connectivity, which is more likely private access to over 50 certified cloud providers. We call this our cloud connectivity product Direct Cloud. Basically, it's just an express route, a direct connect. So it's nothing new. Yeah, it's a Me Too product. We offer this via our ecosystem. We also offer this on locations via our ecosystem where there is no cloud on-ramp. For example, if we take Helsinki, in Helsinki, or general in Finland, we don't have any Asia Express route on-ramp. Yeah. Now, I think there is something planned. You told me that it should come, but at the moment it's not there. So you cannot onboard to Asia Express route. Here you can go via our ecosystem to the nearest on-ramp and just use it. Also, with the whole DE-CIX project, we also plan to onboard more and more local cloud providers, which are more specific for a certain region. So they also have the ability to join this ecosystem and build something like an express route for their customers via our ecosystem. And of course, okay, this is marketing related. What is meant with Direct Cloud? It's a high performance, low latency connection. Basically, it's a VLAN from the customer port to the cloud provider. So next service is the total similar thing, yeah, but only that one side and the other side, not both are no cloud. Yeah. So this makes sense, for example, if the customer wants to get connected privately via VLAN to a partner. Yeah, it's just the same service like Direct Cloud, so it's easy to build for an IXP. Yeah. And because of our ecosystem, we can provide customers a very flexible solution to connect between 2 points with flexible bandwidth between 10 megabits and 100 gigabits on our backbone with no additional hardware costs. There is something special. Yeah? This service is not available at all of our DE-CIX places because there are some laws in some countries where we are not allowed to provide this service. One very specific service is the Microsoft Azure peering service. And here you have to know, okay, we have the express route for cloud connectivity to Microsoft, but this is more or less related to Azure infrastructure as a service for this whole disaster recovery thing. But there is one specific product missing, and this is Office 365, or however Microsoft calls it now, I think Microsoft 365. They don't support it anymore to get connected to Office 365 via an express route. And now very big enterprises, they have a need because they also say, hey, it's business critical for us, so we need to have something like this. Yeah. Now you all would say, okay, then just establish a peering session with Microsoft, a direct peering session. Would totally make sense, but Microsoft is not willing to do so with enterprises. So Microsoft is not peering with enterprises in a direct manner. They in some special cases they do it on an exchange, yeah, but also they're not really willing to do so. Yeah. And so Microsoft developed together with some other IXPs, DE-CIX was one of them, and some ISPs, this Microsoft Azure peering service, which is basically a direct peering session, but over an IXP and controlled by the IXP. So we do all the pre-checks if enterprise customer is doing everything wrong, and then he will get access to the Microsoft AS. Of course, it's totally separated from the internet. It's a DDoS-safe connectivity. And one of the most important things when it came to the negotiation, how this product should look like, was that there is no additional cost on the Microsoft side. Yeah? And Microsoft promised, and this is still the case, if you look at the express route, their product for cloud connectivity till now, you always have 2 cost factors. One time, the ISP or whoever provides the service to the customer. And on the other side, Microsoft holding the hand and saying, okay, but the customer also has to pay me for the service. At Microsoft Azure peering service, this is a pure network service for the customer. So no money goes to Microsoft. It's just a pure network service. Also, the customer doesn't have to configure anything inside his Azure portal. It's just a network service. And one special thing, or 2 special things, at the moment, Microsoft is only supporting IPv4. They are planning to do IPv6, but not now. And the other thing is Microsoft allows via maps more specifics up to /32. Yeah, and let's say the last product we provide to the enterprises with our platform is the so-called cloud router. The cloud router was built on demand of our customers, because most of the big enterprises we onboard on our platform, they not using one cloud provider. Most of them use between 3 and 4 different cloud providers from the big ones, and then some regional ones for some special cases, and they also have multiple locations where they want to connect those clouds. And the idea behind the cloud router is that they don't waste latency, they don't waste bandwidth, they don't waste money in the whole connectivity. They just use the ecosystem to route everything together and just have a centralized based routing managed by DE-CIX. And this, sorry for them. And this routing or this cloud router is based on our Nokia hardware. Yeah, so we don't use. We were discussing it, but we don't use software routers for the cloud router, because the target is high performance, low latency, and redundancy by design. So we have chosen to not run this on a software router. We use our Nokia carrier grade hardware to run this cloud router. At the moment, we are capable of achieving 100 gigabit of throughput, but we could do more. So it's, from a theoretical point of view, we are able, and we also tested it up to terabit, but at the moment we don't have the need for it. Yeah, and now if we look on why we are doing this, why our customers are willing to connect to an IXP, especially to DE-CIX in this case, is the data flow is, in this case, secure, because all of those products are private connectivity products, no external parties involved, so no attack surface. It's fast, or let's say as fast as possible from a physical perspective, because there is no unnecessary routing involved. It's efficient because we are, let's say, an IXP is carrier neutral. We are also data center neutral. So in this case, we can provide the customer the service on any transport partner he wants to use. We offer products from 10 megabit up to 100 gigabit. All of these services, they can scale up pretty easy, up and down. We have contract terms for 1 month. And for some services, we are planning to have daily contract terms next year. This especially makes sense for cloud routers or for cloud connects for big migration projects. We are also developing everything on our AX API or on the AX API, so a customer is able to create those services, to consume these services within minutes. So a cloud connect typically takes roughly about 1.5 minutes to be configured if the customer is physically connected to our platform. And so also compliant, all of these services have an enterprise grade SLA. So we try to match the SLAs of the cloud provider, that he really has an end-to-end SLA chain with 99.95% or more. Yes, and last but not least, I just wanted to promote a colleague of mine. Yeah, maybe some of you know him. He's Wolfgang Tremmel. He's running our DE-CIX Academy, and especially if we onboard such audience like enterprises, yeah, they don't know how to behave on an internet exchange. You cannot give them just a portal and say, just provision, just do it. Yeah, and I think Wolfgang is making a great job in providing all those trainings and all those materials inside the DE-CIX Academy. But we also do, especially for enterprises and also for partners who are on the other side, who are maybe great at networking, but they don't know how to handle the cloud. We do implementation support and interconnection consulting to really spread the knowledge around the world, or in this case also for all those enterprises who want to use those services. Yeah, and now thank you for your attention. I don't want to waste any more time before the dinner. And if there are any questions, ask them now or at the dinner, however you want to.
Well, are there any questions? You are going to stay for sauna, right?
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. So there you'll have a chance to ask him, or Aki, who also is helping him at DE-CIX.